So the next customer repair, you don't see many of these. It's a WorldSound PT40, and it's not appearing as a Smoky Bear, it's not appearing as all the others. So the version without the PA is the inferior version. That's what this one is. I don't know if there's a performance difference. So the tip-top one of the PT40 kind of radios is the low TX40, is different. And you've got the Grandstand Hawk, which isn't far behind. Then you've got the ones of this which have got the PA feature. It's a different board to some extent. Then you've got this more base model. So it's a WorldSound PT40. You can see it doesn't have the PA socket. I think it's like on the Squelch, a bit like Maxcom do it for the PA when you've got that. And they're an underappreciated set, but they're difficult to set up. So I've got a funeral to go and play the organ for, but I think we've got enough time. It's standard Cybernet wired. It's immaculate condition. It's still got the protective plastic on the front panel, so somebody in the future can peel that off. So we'll just see what it's doing, and then we'll come back to this either later today or tomorrow. So let's power it up. So there we are with it on. So picture in picture on, and we're on the 3 watt scale of the power meter, and it's beyond it. It's 3.5 watts on channel 40. Did I say channel 40? I meant channel 20. 3 watts on channel 40. It's a bit out of balance, isn't it? And 3 watts on channel 1. How strange. Let's go to low power. And low power is bang on 400 milliwatts. I don't often see that. Transmit current for full power is 998 milliamps. Deviation on this test set, for what it's worth, wow, it says 3.5. Hope it's not lying. We don't do the VCO, we don't know the method. And frequency wise, let's put the camera on frequency counter. 27,79115 is virtually spot on. So with that kind of figure, with 3.5 watts and virtually spot on frequency, apart from it looks like it's over deviating, you know, this would be, as it's presented, a good set. So if this has come off eBay, it's a good working set, isn't it? Let's see what it's doing on receive. 27,79125. I need to plug the instrument speakers in. Let's go over to the sine nav meter. So let's see where we are. Do I have to touch this and it makes a difference? There's 12 dB. Make sure RF gain is at full, which it is. For 12 dB, you've got 0.4 microvolts. For 0.34. So on the face of this, it's just going to be a retune and test, which is excellent. Look at those figures. Squelch. Okay, so the squelch never opens. It does with a massive signal. We can open the squelch at 100 millivolts, so 100 millivolts, not 100 microvolts. So it does actually open. And we'll go and do the opposite and see where it is at the bottom of its squelch range. Oh, not good, 1.9. So this hopefully is adjustable, because that is far too coarse. It would be not a good round scratchy corner. S-meter reads 7, so to get it to read 9 we need what kind of signal? To get it to read 9 it needs 210 microvolts. In the right box, meter lamp's working, switches are working, potentiometers are working, socket's working, it doesn't have that, and the built-in speaker's working. I say it did come with a mic, but I'll play with that later. And we just want to look at the RF meter now. So when we press transmit, what does it say? And it reads, I think it's supposed to be in the red zone. I'll put the word low. So just time to open it up. I've not known these suffer from dry joints. They're an old-fashioned design. So they're the kind of design you would think was about 1979. So in 1981 it was a bit of an old hat design. But that doesn't make it crap, does it? We're going the wrong way. Let's try it that way. I've gone and taken the wrong screws out. Got to be aware of sharp corners. It's not the most expensively finished set. I think these are Taiwan. Just verify that. Yeah. So there you go. Lots of adjustments because it's an older type of design. I've not ever changed any capacitors. Some of these came in doing more than 4 watts, and then I had to turn quite a lot down at the time. So there we go. So we'll start on with the alignment when I get back from church. Okay, I've got exactly 10 minutes, so I thought we'll move on a bit more with this. Now the frequency setup's really complicated, like setting it to 10.24046. So I'm not going to do that at this stage. So I'm going to do a transmitter tune-up, and it's another thing we've done, because I'd love to be able to finish this today. Fiona was a lady 74, not a great age. So we start off with the transmit here, especially if we turn the radio on. Go to the main meter. So centre of the peak, not just the peak. That's about 3.95 watts now. That's 4.0. Let's hope it's a bit better balanced when I've done this. Well, there we are. We've got 4 watts out of it. We're not going to touch that one, which is the spectrum analyzer one. It's still sealed exactly where it left the factory, so that's very good. So that's 4 watts. When cold, it'll be a bit more than that, but it's certainly doing 4 watts now. It's warm. So channel 1, 3.6, channel 40, 4. Not as balanced as I'd like. I just wonder if we just take this one out of tune slightly. So what I've gone is go to channel 40 and just peak it there. Let's go to, sorry, channel 1. Just see now what we've got on channel 20. We've still got 4 watts on channel 20. On channel 40, we've lost it. It's 3.1. So nice try, Mr. 21, but no. Right, 4 watts on 40. Right, 3.8 on 1. You see what I'm trying to do? 4 watts. 4 watts. I think we've cracked it. Right, 4 watts on channel 40. 4.05 on channel 20. 3.8 on channel 1. I will stick my neck out and say 3.85. I think that's the best balance we're going to get. And do remember, these are a cheap set. You know, you're not going to get the balance that you'd have on a Cybernet 134. Right. Well, that took some doing. So the meter we want it to be in the centre of the red zone. It's certainly higher than it was because we've brought the power up. So it's the preset back there. Let's see whether we can get to the centre of the red zone. And we can. So that's a nice little chore done. I just looked back behind me to see whether the test set was on, and it isn't. so we won't do the deviation. Let's see if we can do the receive. Let's see where the transmit frequency is. We'll go to the frequency counter. (79120). I don't want to do this. I don't want to change the frequency at this stage because it's complex. I need another signal generator, and I need my other oscilloscope with the digital readout, or a frequency counter, because it all links in with the delta tune. So the moment, there we go. Let's just go through the receive then. We'll start by doing the detector. We'll do the frequencies at the end. It can't be that far out. This is a radio that, yeah, we're doing a service, but this is a set that would have worked okay. We're just polishing it a bit. There's the other one. So on the FM detector, which is the core here, so we're going to go to the oscilloscope. We're going to switch on the oscilloscope, put S9 on the signal generator, and when the CRT warms up in the oscilloscope, I bought those new 2 years ago because I was scared that CRT oscilloscopes were going to disappear, and I need this instant response that this gives me. I don't want to be wasting time. Adjust wait, which you get with digitized instruments. There we go. So that is a difference there. Right, we'll now go to the synod meter, and let's see if we can do the rest of it. Recall that our first receive is here. We'll turn the signal generator down to about there. I've gone and adjusted that by mistake. Let's transmit one. I'll just go back on that. No wonder it's having no effect on receive. This is so well tuned as it is. I've got another half watt out of the transmitter. Put a bigger signal on. I'll be surprised if there's any improvement, especially with doing the detector. Let's see what we've got. So for 12 dB, we've got 0.44. So you see, because I've done the detector, it's seemingly worse. Naught 0.38 for there. And 0.8 there. So what has happened is the clarity's improved. Right, well, S meter. Can't see that. Let's see where we are. So if you remember before, it was a massive amount, 210 microvolts. And our squelch preset is there, and our meter preset is there. And there we have S9. Beautiful. And we'll do the squelch while we're doing the receiver. So full squelch was a massive amount to open it. So it's on full squelch right now. It is now opening at a lesser thing, because as I've done that detector, it's improved the squelch, because they are linked with the lower IF. 455, 465, whatever, 455. I've already forgotten 455. So, let's adjust the squelch. See what I've got the signal. I'll show you the signal generator. We're on 100 microvolts on the attenuator. So, does this open? Oh, it's one of those that goes around in circles, is it? Well, it doesn't open at 100 microvolts, so let's put something stronger on. Right. So that's the maximum. And it's now opening at 500 microvolts. Well, I can live with that. Mind you, it did open, didn't it? But because it was so coarse on its maximum, 100 millivolts, I've now got 400 microvolts. Hopefully now we've got better squelch sensitivity, because 1.9, go around scratchy corner with So set the squelch, signal generator to standby, and now we'll switch the signal generator back on. Now that's still just as lousy, so I'll go into what's causing that, but it'll be not now. I've gone to all the trouble of getting the oscilloscope out. And you know what? This version is simpler than the one I was expecting. When I look, we haven't got all this extra crystal and stuff here, which we have in some of the versions. We're going to have to get the second signal generator. I seem to recall that we adjust the frequency either with this or with that on receive. Let's see where we are on transmit. See, there's no service manual. This is just years of experience and guessing games. So if I dare move that, there we are, 79126. But chances are we've now knocked the receive out. I'll just go across to our chapel. I had a club meeting at the weekend, and I took the second signal generator across there and didn't bring it back. So I'll go and fetch that. Of course, I was totally wrong, wasn't I? We need to put this back to where it was. It's 120. Well, I think we need to put it back to where it was. Right, back to 120 because the frequency is adjusted elsewhere. I've got the secondary signal generator on just off to my left. I'll show you in a moment. So I've got the signal generator on. I'll just move the, oh, that's the twagger gone. I'll just move the signal generator across so you can see. Got that there on 10.695. So if I turn the volume up, listen for the musical note. So we do need to set that for 10.24046, and by setting that to where it was, it is now correct. So then on transmit, we trim the transmit with this variable resistor here. So let's go back to transmit, and I'll put the main meter up. I want the signal generator. We want that, don't we? 27. So it's now slightly high. So hopefully we can trim it. It's a balancing act. It's still slightly high. I'm going to adjust this to get us a bit closer. Right, we'll bring us back up with this one. Okay, and now we'll make sure we're spot on frequency with this one on receive. Back on transmit. That'll do me, 79128, which is where we were in the first place. So I must try and remember this, that we actually need to set it up for 10.24046. We can't always do that because the crystal may have dropped, etc. But as long as we can get transmit to be on frequency and receive to be on frequency, I just so this is your transmit trimmer and this is the receive trimmer done with a secondary signal generator. Now when we turn our delta tune, oh good grief, I've got delta tune on. I've done it wrongly, so now I have to trim that out. See where we are on transmit. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What a balancing act, I tell you. So now we're on receive frequency, back to transmit. We're not going to have that latitude. Right, so the best compromise I can get is receiving on, just turn that down, receiving on 2779 10 something, so it's like 20 out minus, and transmitting on 144, 2779 144, so it's transmitting about 20 plus. Now, oh, that's well within. Not joking, it's well within. Most of the unit sets we see are going to be transmitting around 144 and they're non-adjustable, and of course they're going to be receiving at 144, but this does have a delta tune and it does work, so you can hear that tone, which equates to us, as you can see, where it is on frequency. Now, if I adjust the delta tune, we've got an exact spot on point. So, within the off position, it's very slightly minus, but I would say that the crystals dropped with age. This set isn't faulty; it's not unusable, and I wasn't calibrating these 40 years ago, so I don't know how well they worked at the time. But it's well within. So a lot of trouble to get these somewhere like right. Make sure we still get excellent receive. This time round I'm reading 0.48. Hold the sides, comes up a bit. Yeah. Transmit 4 watts, 791, 4 something, so we're within. Right, let's do deviation. I'm on the test set behind me. I'll just put the camera over to there for when we come back. Wallow, wallow. It's spot on. It's 2.4. You know what? I could let it peak at 2.5 and just give it a tiniest little adjust. If only I could find it. It's there. Wow. There we go. I think this has really been set up well in the not too distant past. Right, there we go. I didn't have to disconnect the speaker, so it was. Oh, let's just see what this meter says. Wallow. It says it's about 3. Well, it isn't. It was 2.1 to 2.4. It's now 2.2 to 2.5. I mean, I'm just dancing around the edges there. I better just check low power because we've altered the transmit, haven't we? Well out. Oh, not on low power. Helps. Now 420 milliwatts, which is low power. I don't think. No, it doesn't have one, does it? It doesn't have a low power. We've got squelch, S meter, deviation, transmit meter, frequency on transmit, that's just done through this network, so it's now very slightly high at 420 milliwatts, and our current consumption on full whack is still just 960. It's now 968 milliamps for 4 watts, where it was 998 milliamps before I tuned it. So fantastic result. There we go. But I think this has been recently done. It's a really good set, but you've got to appreciate it's a cheap set, and they have their idiosyncrasies. So we'll see what this sounds like. Does its speaker work? Yep. See what it sounds like on the air test. All I need to do is to find some screws. I have done a brand new Midland 78 Blue, which will be sticking on eBay, but that was yesterday's video. But pressure of time, I've just not been able to get that published. We'll be flogging that set on eBay. It's a brand new set. I think they're $109.95. So complete with the tune for optimisation, I think we're going to be putting it on at 95 quid. So that'll be a bargain for somebody. But I say we've moved to Thunderpole 3000s instead of the Midland 78s, which we were using before. And what I mean, I say this with one about to go for sale. I don't like the fact you've got to key up and wait half a second. But that's the way it is. It's not that they're faulty, it's just the way they are. But we chose those before as the test radios because they do work so well, apart from the half-second delay. So a lot of modern sets do that. It's not just those. So we'll swap the test instruments, turn the gear off, save some electricity, put the squelch on so it doesn't annoy me, and we'll plug in the roof aerial and see if there's any bad buddies out there. One and a Roger. Okay, well that's not saying a lot. Isn't it great living in the middle of nowhere? So thanks for watching the WorldSound PT40. There's quite a few different ones using this chassis, and this is the cheaper one. The low TX40, as I say, is the better one. Doesn't mean it works better. It's just got an extra stage in it, and we've got a full service manual for that, so you just know everything's being adjusted as per manual. Where this is reading between the low TX40 service manual and experiencing and educated guesswork. But I think we've done very well to get that so closely to be on frequency on transmit and receive. So there we are. Thanks for watching the WorldSound PT40 from 1981, one of the also ran sets.